the first piece in the puzzle of building a cloud is data center, followed by server and storage infrastructure. We then connect our data center to the customer premises to create the total solution. From there, whether it's a corporate or government, they can build their cloud strategy on those building blocks. From what I can see, it doesn't matter which direction the cloud story goes, what applications will be delivered over the cloud, those building blocks will always stay the same. You're going to need data centers, you're going to need storage, you're going to need servers. So as far as I can see over the next 5 years, there'll be phenomenal growth for iSeek continuing to build that core infrastructure for the cloud. In this case, both Hitachi and iSeek have made significant investments and commitments to making this a very successful platform over time. So we're talking many millions of dollars in the initial 18-month period, and of course that will be many, many millions more over the next few years. iSeek's product evolvement or development over time has always been customer driven. It's always been based on a couple of customers asking us for a certain type of solution, rather than us doing the old build it and they will come approach. That has never been the iSeek approach. So in the last few years, certainly the inquiry for, hey, can you provide a server infrastructure as a service? Can you provide a storage as a service? You're doing the data center for us, we're very happy with that. Can you go the next couple of steps?
I think iSeek's customers are not just looking for a cheaper cost point to deliver their IT services. What they're looking for is a repeatable and predictable way in which they can deploy not just today's applications that support their business, but the future applications that they will need to bring to market to service their customers.
I think what's fundamentally different now in these purchasing decisions is I think there's a lot of pushback from the CEO and the CFO at that level as to, do we really need to build and own this infrastructure? Would it be wiser? Is it a better decision to get someone else to supply this in a managed service or a cloud type service? We've got some very large clients that have no lack of capital that are going down this path, to small clients that may have capital constraints which are driving some of these decisions. Sometimes it's speed to market. Going to a cloud solution can typically get you to market a lot quicker than trying to build the whole solution yourself.
iSeek's customers fundamentally wanted to be able to provision their services very quickly and feel secure that someone was looking after their most important assets, their business information. On top of that, they also needed to be very well assured that the security around that information was available. And I think that's exactly where iSeek had really built their reputation for the last 10 years.
Often when the cloud's put to the market, it's put in the context that a cloud could be hosted anywhere and meet any client's requirements. But what we find is the reality is that certain customers, government and corporate, have a geographic requirement to have it hosted in a certain area. So iSeek has targeted certain areas within Australia, certain corporate sectors and government sectors within Australia. And the other driver is a client may have a cloud requirement which needs to be coupled with their own physical infrastructure. So it's almost like a hybrid solution. Part of it is bringing their own physical infrastructure into the data center and complementing that with a cloud solution, and they need that in the same facility, in the same geographical area. And over time, they'll tend to migrate off their own physical infrastructure as that reaches end of life and then go more to a hosted or cloud-based solution. The first decision you have to make is which technology are you going to use? So one of the benefits we have as a co-location provider, we have many enterprise customers within our facilities doing different things, using different vendors and different solutions. We can see what works, we can see what doesn't work. And one of the things we noticed was that customers on the Hitachi Data Systems solutions were happy and their solutions worked. So that made it a fairly simple step for us to choose that as our platform moving forward, because at the end of the day, when you're playing in the enterprise space as we do, the most important thing is reliability.
One of the fundamental things that we help iSeek do is bring customers or on-ramp them into the cloud. One of the biggest problems that a lot of customers may be fearful of when looking at cloud solutions is, how do they take an environment that they currently have today with traditional IT delivery and put it into the cloud? What we have worked on with iSeek is not just the products and the architecture, but fundamentally the processes and the services that are actually involved in bringing those customers into their data centre.
And of course, like any market, there's differing requirements out there, different levels of service. But as I said, in the iSeek context, we've very much gone for the high-level enterprise or government organisation where performance and reliability is everything. And therefore, the Hitachi solution very much suits our strategy.
What we really looking to do is how do we support the continual growth of the types of customers that iSeek are expecting. And that's really looking at the fundamental requirements of what cloud is. It's about multi-tenanting different customers and maintaining security, maintaining performance, maintaining reliability through that scaling process.
We had some very specific requirements for our storage platform that we needed to take to market, particularly around the tiering. And when I refer to tiering, I mean the various types of storage services you take to the market. So at the low level, we're talking about archival storage, or what we call unstructured storage. Through to the highest level is what we call mission critical application type storage within the organisation. And then within that, there's a number of types of storage or tiers of storage that we require. So from our vendor, we very much needed a solution that could cater to all of those requirements across the board.
What we've found in the proliferation of technology over the last 10 years is that building a Rolls-Royce solution is not the best way to service everybody. What iSeek have done quite well is that they've built different service levels for different applications as well as different customers. But the important thing is you don't go and build different clouds to service all of those different needs. By working off a foundation technology that allows you to change the various levels of performance, capacity, data protection, means that iSeek can deliver those services in the most cost-effective way without putting a drain on their productivity.
And this is something that many people may not appreciate, but from the initial decision, signing a purchase order to put in storage infrastructure, to actually being up and running, we did it in record time, and even that was a 3 to 4 month period. We're talking, once again, enterprise class storage, lots of planning, architecture, design needs to go into it, project plan needs to be developed, and then the implementation phase is quite significant. So it's not as simple as plugging in a box, turning it on, and then away you go. It's far, far more involved than that. In the next few years, what I think we're going to see is organisations, government, corporate, will move the infrastructure out of their own data centres or computer rooms into a more centralised environment, be it cloud. So we'll see demand come from both those sectors as they move it out of their own environment. And on top of that, the requirement for storage is expanding anyway. So couple the two together, the migration out of their own facilities and their continued expansion, it'll just continue to grow.
Typically, we've seen customers start off with taking their tier 2 or tier 3 applications, maybe some of the less critical applications, into a cloud service provider. As they've built the confidence and understand the sorts of service levels and performance that they're able to achieve out of such services, they'll entrust more of their applications.
We've earmarked an investment of $83.5 million to spend on data centres, storage, servers, to meet this demand, to assist our customers, government and corporate, to build their cloud solutions to take to market.
What's happening in platform as a service is probably the most interesting and strategic part of what's going on with cloud computing right now.
If you deploy and you put a bug in there and you've broken something, you're not just going to break for one client.
You're going to see, I believe, the development community start to make some big decisions in this area in the next few years, particularly if you're a small software company in Australia.
This industry is not about making products. It's about owning standards.
It's really a battle for the hearts and minds of the global development community.